Good morning, everyone. So today we're going over 1.7 solving inequality. So in the beginning, I'm going to give you in the beginning, anyone who knows what is the meaning of inequality, or he has any idea about inequality, or what is the meaning of inequality? Have you seen this word in the high school or outside? Inequalities, someone he said shop does not equal no, it sometimes has equal. Anyone has another word or definition? What is the meaning of inequality? Inequality use the somebody he said inequality use the greater than, less than signs. This is correct. Can I get the attendance? Here's the attendance. Inequality use the greater than, less than, and sign. Yes. What else? What else? It has many solutions. This is also correct. Yeah. Like before we starting talking about equation, and we talk about equation, we talk about linear equation, and we talk about a quadratic equation, and equation is not linear, is not a quadratic. And today we're going to talk about inequality. And in equation, we said we have only one solution, but today we're going to talk about inequality. So inequality, I can say about equality, it look like equation and equation. It's similar to equation, but the difference here, instead of the equal sign, we're going to use, we replace it by one of like a greater than or less than, or like sometimes we said a greater than and equal, and less than or equal. So it's like look like equation, but it's not equation. But instead of the equal sign, we're going to use like different sign. It's the first sign is less than, greater than. Here, this is greater than or equal, and less than and equal. This is the difference about equation and the difference between equation and inequality. So inequality, it's similar to the equation, but the difference it is we replace, instead of the equal sign, this sign, less than, greater than, or equal, less than or equal. So I'm going to give you like a simple example. Like for example, inequality of the inequality yes, equality 4x plus 7 less than or equal 19. So this is inequality. Why? Because here it's look like equation, but instead of the equal sign, we're not going to use the equal sign. Instead of the equal sign, we're going to use less than or equal, this sign. Okay. So to check this, like this inequality, like there's some numbers satisfy this inequality. Not all numbers satisfy this inequality. So I'm going to make a small table like this. Some numbers satisfy this inequality. So in this in the here in this side, we're going to put x, the value for x, and here I'm going to put the inequality for x plus 7 less than or equal 19. And in here in this x, I'm going to use like random numbers. I'm going to use 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and 5. And I'm going to use this numbers, plug it inside the equality. And I'm going to check which number satisfy this inequality and which number not satisfy this inequality. So for number 1, who will do the number 1? Who will plug number 1 inside the inequality?
So when you plug in 1 for x,
Okay.
it's 4 plus 7, which is 11. 11,
Okay.
11 is less than or equal to 19. So that's right.
So here for number 1, we plug the 1 here. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 7 is 11, like Shop said. 11 less than or equal 19. For number 2, who will do the number 2? Number 2. Who will do number 2? Who will plug number 2 here? 15 less than or equal to 19. Let's check Eric. Eric said 15 less than or equal to 19. Sahil again, Sahil Ahmed said 15. Okay, let's do it together. So here plug the 2. 2 times 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 7 is 15. So I get here 15 less than or equal 19. For number 3, who will do number 3? For 3, it's 19. So he said 19 because 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 7 is 19 less than or equal 19. What about number 4? 4 times 4 is 16. Mahrain, he said it's 23. So let's check. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 plus 7 is again 23. This is correct. 23 less than or equal 19. And for the last one, 5, like 5 number. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 plus 7, 27. This is correct, Mahrain. 27 less than or equal 19. Which one is satisfied? This is correct. Is the 11 less than or equal 19? Is this correct here?
Only 1 to 3, the numbers or the domains 1 to 3 satisfy the equation.
Satisfied.
Sorry, the inequality.
Yeah, this is correct because the 11 is less than 19. So this is correct here. Shop, he said from 1 to 3. Second one is 15. 15 less than or equal 19. This is also correct because the 15 is less than 19. For the 3, 19 less than or equal 19. This is the sign here is mean equal. Yes, this is correct. 19 equal 19. But for number 4, this is correct. Is the 23 less than or equal 19? Is the 23 less than or equal 19 here? This is correct here?
No, that's wrong.
This is not correct. This is wrong because the 23 is not less than 19. So the number 4 here, when you plug it inside the inequality, is not satisfied. Now, for 5, is it satisfied? Is it correct?
No, it's also not correct.
Not correct. So the numbers here is correct is any number less than 3. So if I plug the 0, 2, I get 4 times 0 is 0 plus 7. So is 7. So the 7 is less than or equal 19. So any number is less than 3 is satisfy this inequality. But any number is greater than 4 is not satisfied. So all numbers satisfy, the numbers satisfying this inequality, the numbers satisfy the inequality are x less than or equal 3. All numbers less than or equal 3 satisfy this inequality. Okay, any question for this one? Is it clear what we said here in this table? Okay, no questions. Okay, so now we have to go to the rules for the inequality. Rules for the inequality. Number one, so if I have a, so here number one, the rules for inequality. So here for number one, if I have a for number one, so here if I have this a less than or equal b, inequality, if I have inequality a less than or equal b, so if I add any quantity for both sides, if I want to add like the same quantity for the both sides, for example, I want to add c, a plus c less than or equal b plus c. If I want to add c to the both sides of this inequality, I'm going to give an equivalent inequality to this one. So the first rule said, if I have inequality and I want to add like the same quantity to the both sides for the inequality, if I want to add c, for example, here add c, I'm going to get another inequality like this. And this inequality is equivalent to this one, to the first one. This is the first rule. So I can add the same quantity to the both sides such that the sign will not change, will be smaller than or equal, will not change. Number two, if I have a less than or equal b, and I would like to subtract the same quantity from the both sides, like I want to subtract c from the both sides, subtracting c, the same quantity to the both sides, I'm going to get another inequality. This inequality is a minus c, and we have the same sign, less than or equal b minus c. So this is mean if I want to subtract the same quantity to the both sides of the inequality, I will get another inequality is equivalent to the first one. The same, look here, is smaller than or equal, here is smaller than or equal, does not change. Now for the third one. For the third one, if I have like a positive number, if I have c, this c is positive number, greater than or equal, greater than 0 is positive. So then I have a is less than or equal b, and I would like to multiply both sides of this inequality by this c, by this positive number. For example, multiplying this by c, multiplying this by c, I will get an equivalent. I will get an equivalent inequality is a c a. This equivalent inequality is c times a, c a less than or equal c b, c b. So ca less than or equal than cb. So it does not change the sign again. Look, smaller than or equal, And here we have smaller than or equal. Now for number 4, if my C here is negative number, if this C is smaller than 0, so then A is less than or equal B. So we're multiplying both sides by this number is the negative number, C times C. You should to know when we multiply the both side by negative number for the inequality, we should to change the inequality sign. So here, instead of less than or equal, we're going to get CA greater than or equal times CB. CB. For number 5, if A less than or equal, if A is greater than 0 and B is greater than B 0, so both of the numbers are positive, then A less than B or equal is equivalent here. Why does the sign flip? Oh, why does here I get from a question from Eric, why this sign is changed from less than or equal to greater than or equal? The answer for this question, because the number is negative. If I multiply both sides of the inequality by negative numbers, I should to change the sign to greater than. I have to flip the sign. If here less than or equal, here should be greater than or equal. Okay, Eric? Here, if I have both numbers are positive, A is greater than 0 and B is greater than 0, and then A is less than or equal B, I should to know A over A, 1 over A is also greater than or equal 1 over B. So here, when I take the when I take the reciprocal for A and B, the sign also change. The reciprocal for A and B, the sign here for the inequality is changed. Here less than or equal, here is greater than or equal. Rule number 6. These rules are very important. We're going to use it during the lecture. And number 6, if A is less than or equal B and C less than or equal D, I have two inequality less than or equal D. Then I should to know if I want to add A to C and B to D. So then A plus C is less than or equal B plus D. A plus this A plus C, A plus C, the C, and here B plus D. So the same things here. So this is the blue one, C and D, and the red one is A and B. A and B. For rule number 7, 6 here, we have 7 here. So for 7, if A is less than or equal B and B is less than or equal C, so here A less than or equal B and B, this B is less than or equal C, then I can get the transitive, then A, this A is less than or equal C. So, and this is the last rule. if A is less than B and B is less than C, so A is less than C. Any question for this rules? This is called transitive here. What's the okay? So here I have this is called the transitive. Here is called the transitive. Any question? Is it clear? Okay. Okay. So let's now let's solving linear inequality. Let's start for solving linear inequality. So here, solving the first kind of inequality for solving is solving linear inequality or inequalities. Solving linear inequalities. What is the meaning of linear? Linear equation. We learned linear equation before. What is the meaning of linear?
Constant.
Constant. Yeah, this is correct. But also, what's like the general definition of linear? And I gave example for linears.
Like
also.
a straight line that passes through some coordinate plane coordinates.
It's exactly, or I can say anything of the form b of x equal what? Ax plus c. This is linear. Anything equivalent to this one, b of x equal ax plus c, called linear. So what is the highest power here? What is the highest power for this one, for this equation?
First degree.
It's the first degree, exactly. So I can say here is exactly the one. So the highest power of the variable is 1 here. Here I can say highest power of the variable is 1. So I'm going to give example for how we can, I will start for this by example for solving inequality of linear. Example. So the question is solve 3x less than or equal or less than of 9x plus 4. So to solve inequality look like this, I prefer to move all variable to one side and moving the other, like all numbers to the other side. Move the variable to one side and move the other numbers to other side. Here we have variable x. This is variable x. So move all variable to one side and move the numbers to the other side. This is number here, number 4. This is a number. So minus 3x and minus 4. This is correct. So here I can like minus 3x from both sides. So I will move the 3x to this side. And also I'm going to move the number 4 to this side. Or I can do it like direct by subtracting 9x from both sides. But I don't like the minus sign. So this is better. So to move the 3x to this side by subtracting 3x for both sides and moving the 4 to the other side. So I by subtracting 4 from both sides. So I'm going to do two steps in the same way. Here we have to subtract 3x, subtract 3x, subtract 3x, minus 3x. Okay, when you subtract 3x from this side, this cancel out. This done, 0. 3x minus 3x is 0. But I'm going to add 4, subtract 4 in the same time. Minus 4, minus 4. So here, 0 minus 4, I will get minus 4. No, I don't like this. I prefer to subtract the 9x is better and easier than this. I can't do that, but I will get the same thing. Okay, let's continue doing this. So here, subtracting 4x, I get minus 4x less than 9x minus 3x. What I get? 9x minus 3x. What I get?
You get -6.
No, positive 6. 9 minus 3. So it's positive, right? Positive x. Okay. Now what we had to do? What we should to do now here?
You just divide 6 on both sides.
Exactly. Divide 6 from both sides because I need the value for x. Like equation, exactly. Similar to equation. So I have to divide both sides by 6. Here, divide this by 6. Here, by 6, by 6. This cancel out. I get now x greater than minus 4 over 6. Minus 4.
-2/3.
It's negative 2 over 3. So I can here like change the direction. X is greater than negative 2 over 3. Here's the direction. X is greater, so I make it like in this side. X is greater than minus 2 over 3. And this is my solution. Any number is greater than of this number, any number, like any number is greater than minus 2 over 3, it satisfies this inequality. Give me numbers is greater than minus 2 over 3. Which number is satisfied here? Which number is greater than minus 2 over 3?
0.
0. This is correct. The 0 here is greater than minus 2 over 3. Plug the 0 inside the inequality. 3 times 0, I get 0. Less than of 9 times 0 is 0 plus 4. So the 0
Is
is less than 4, and this is correct. Yes. What also numbers I can plug here?
2.
2. Plug the 2. 3 times 2, 6. Less than 9 times 2, 18. 18 plus 4, 22. And this is correct. Plug a numbers is less than this number, minus 2 over 3. To check is not satisfied. Give me numbers less than minus 2 over 3. Minus 1. This is correct. Minus 1. Plug the minus 1 inside this inequality. 3 times minus 1 is minus 3. Less than here 9x times minus 1. 9 times minus 1 is minus 9 plus 4. Simplify this one. Minus 3 less than minus 9 plus 4 is minus 5. Is this correct? The minus 3 is less than the minus 5. Is the minus 5 greater than minus 3? No, this is not correct. The minus 5 is not greater than minus 3. So the number minus 1 is not satisfied. So this is this is a correct answer. This is a correct answer. My solution is all numbers is greater than minus 2 over 3. all numbers greater than -2/3. So I can here say, so the answer or the solution is open parentheses. Inside the parentheses, we should to say here -2/3 -2/3 to infinity. All numbers from -2/3 to infinity. And the -2/3 is not the answer for this inequality. Why? We cannot plug here. If we plug this one inside here, will not be the answer. Why is not the answer?
It's because there is no specific, there's not one solution.
Also, can you give, this is not exactly why this is not the answer.
There's no equal sign.
Exactly, is not equal sign. I cannot plug this one inside the inequality, is not satisfied. Here we don't have the equal sign. We don't have the equal sign. This is less than, the 3x is less than 9x plus 4. We don't have equal. So this answer here, -2/3, is not satisfied this inequality. That's why we here put open parentheses. We give an open parentheses. The open parentheses from -2/3 to infinity. Or I can put the solution as on the real line like this, and here like open circle, -2/3 is not the answer, and we have something like this, arrow from this point to infinity. This goes to infinity here. This here is the infinity. Make it smaller. Here this is the infinity. All numbers from -2/3 to the positive infinity. Positive infinity. Any question for this example? Okay. Solving nonlinear inequality. Okay, solving nonlinear inequality. So this is for the linear. For the linear, we have to do this step, moving all variable to one side and moving the numbers to the other side. Then we solve it for x. We subtract and divide to get the x. Then to make sure this is the correct answer, just plug numbers. Take numbers greater than -2/3 and plug it inside the inequality and check your answer. Here we check the answers. We check the answer here. This is to check the answer, if your answer is correct for the inequality or not. Then we can define the solution as open parentheses from -2/3 to infinity. And or we can do it as on real line like this, -2/3 and arrow goes to infinity. Now we're going to learn how to solve nonlinear inequality. Solving nonlinear inequality or inequalities. Solving nonlinear inequalities. Okay. What is the mean of nonlinear? What does that mean here for nonlinear?
Any degree higher than 1?
Exactly. Like before, the higher degree is greater than 1. For example, 2 or 3, like quadratic. or like quadratic x square or stuff like this. So here I can say the highest degree here the highest power for variable greater than 1. Like for example 2, 3, 4, any power of like 2 or 3, like x squared, x cubed, x raised to the power 4, all this is non-linear variable. So here we have some steps. We have to follow the step to solve the non-linear inequality. This step is not hard, it's easy. First one, we have to move, number one, move all terms to one side and make the other side equal 0. Second step, factor and find the zeros. To find the 0, we should to make the equation equal 0. What's number one? Number one, move. Here, move all terms to one side. Sorry. Number two, factor and find the zeros. Number three, find the sign. I mean, find the sign whereas the equation will be positive in which side, when the equation will be like negative in which after which number. I mean, I will show you how to find the sign by example. Number four, the last one, is solve. I mean, for solve, we have to give the solution. Give the solution. Steps we have to follow to find to solve a nonlinear inequality. Move all terms to one side, factor and find the zeros, find the sign, and then the last one is solve. Example. The question is now, example, example, solve x squared minus 5x less than or equal minus 6. So let's step using the steps one by one. Who will do the first one? Step number one.
So you just add 6 on both sides to make the other side 0.
So add 6. Exactly. We add 6 to the both side to make this side equal 0, or cancel out 6. Minus 6 plus 6. This is equal here 0. Now, what's my equation? What's my equation now?
X squared minus 5x plus 6 less than or equal to 0.
Exactly. X squared minus 5x plus 6 less than or equal 0. Now, who will do the second step? Who will do the second step? factor. Who will factor this one?
So any number that multiplies equal to 6 and adds equal to -5, which is -6 and 1.
-6 and 1. Yes, we have looking for two numbers. The multiplication of these two numbers is +6, and the sum of these two numbers is -5. So Shop, he said the numbers is -6 and 1. So -6 times +1, I will get here -6. And the sum of these two numbers, -6 plus 1, I will get -5, the
Wait,
middle one.
What if we do -2 and -3?
-2 times -3, what I get here? +6. And -2 plus -3, what I get? -5. So both of them correct, right? Oh, here, this is not correct. -6 times 1 is -6. Here we have +6. So this is not correct. This is will not work. This here will not work because I get here -6. Here I should to have +6. Here +6 add -5. So I have here -6 and -5. They will not work. But for this one, -6, +6 and -5, this is correct. So this is the factor for this quadratic. Here x minus 2 times x -3 less than or equal 0. So this is the first step here. Second step. What is the third step? How can I find here the zeros? What's the zero for this equation?
You just
If I put, yes, go ahead.
You do x minus 2 greater, I mean less than or equal to 0. And then you do x minus 3 less than or equal to. You just set the
This is correct, but yes, go ahead.
you just set each
Yes, Ahmed.
factor, just set each one, and then you put it in the equality to 0.
Okay, this is correct, but here to find the zeros, I have to make it this equal 0. So how can I do it here like this? X minus 2 times x minus 3 equals 0. How we can solve something like that? What is the answer? What is the
honestly, you just change the signs inside, or you can just set up the equation x minus 2 equals 0 and x minus 3 equals 0.
exactly? This is called the zero property product or zero product property. Zero product property. If I have a times b equals 0, this is mean a equals 0 or b equals 0. We used this property before. So x minus 2 equals 0. This is my a, or x minus 3 equals 0. Go ahead, Ahmed. How we can do it?
You add 2 on both sides.
Yes, add 2 for both sides. What I get? X equal what?
2.
2. And what is the second one?
Add 3 on both sides, you get x equals 3.
This is correct. X equal 3. Now, step number 3, find the sign. To find this sign, number 4 here, I should write 3 here. So this is 2 here. Still, we have it in 2. Here, number 3. To find the sign, we should to draw the real number line like this. And we have to put this 2 numbers on this real number, on this real line. So what's the numbers? Is 2 and 3. The first 0, number 2, and the second 0 is 3. Then we have to find the sign. We have to check what is the sign here, what is the sign here, what is the sign here. Okay, to do this one, I'm going to do it in the next slide. I'm moving to the next slide. Here, number 3. Number 3, yes. Number 3. So we have to draw the line again. This is the line. And we have to put the zeros on this line. The first zero is, what is the first zero? Is 2, I think. Is it 2? Yes,
Yeah.
2 and 3. Yes, this is correct. 2. Here's 2. And the second zero is 3. Now, to check the sign for this one, I have to pick any numbers is greater than 3 and plug it inside the inequality. The inequality or the equation is x squared minus 5x squared minus 5x plus 6 is then or equal 0. So you're going to this number 3. Yeah, it's 3. So actually, you're going to hide the inequality like this. First of all, you have to pick a number greater than 3. Give me any number greater than 3. Pick any number greater than 3. For example, this number. Here, close to the 3. Pick any number greater than 3. For example, 4. Victoria said, or she said, choose number 4. Okay. The number 4, you have to plug it inside the equation, the quadratic equation here. Plug the 4 inside the quadratic equation. Four square minus 5 times 4.
I think both of them makes it true.
So what's the here the answer?
So the only
4
solution
square
is including 2 and 3. Any number between 2 and 3 is the only solution. Is that what it is?
I don't know exactly. I'm going to do it step by step to see what is the solution. I'm going to check what is the sign here, greater than 3, less than 2, and the sign between. So 4 square minus 5 times 4 plus 6. 4 square is 16 minus 20 plus 6. And the answer here, minus 4 plus 2 is positive 2. What is the sign of 2? What's the sign of this number 2? What is the sign? Is positive? Sign is positive. So the numbers here, the sign here, all numbers here will be positive. All numbers here will be positive. If pick any number greater than 3 will be positive. Now pick any number is less than 2. Choose any number less than 2.
0.
That less than, yes, exactly, 0. So the 0 here. Here is 0. Plug it inside the equation. 0 square minus 5 times 0 plus 6. What I get? Here 0 minus 0 plus 6. I get positive 6. What is the sign?
No.
What's the sign here for 6? It's positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. So the here will be positive 2. So any number is less than 2 will be positive. Now pick any number between 2 and 3.
2.5.
2.5. Plug the 2.5 inside the equation here. 2.5. 2.5 square minus 5 times 2.5 plus 6. What I get? Here 2.5 square is like around, I can change this one like 5 over 2. And this is the same things, 5 over 2. Or I can do it as 2.5 times 2.5 would be give me 6.25 minus 12.5 plus 6. And the answer here would be minus 0.25. So what's the sign here?
Negative.
Exactly. The sign is negative. So here, any number between 2 and 3, when I plug it inside the equation, would be negative. Now go back to the inequality. The inequality here said, what is the solution when x squared minus 5x plus 6 is less than or equal 0? Or in the other word, when this inequality, this equation here will be negative. When this equation will be negative.
When it's between two, any number between 2 and 3.
Exactly, will be negative here, any number between 2 and 3. So the solution is, because here we have equal, so it would be like close. Like I mean, also the two satisfy this inequality, number 2 and 3, because here we have equal 0. If we plug the 2 here inside this equation, I will get 0. If I plug the 3 inside this equation, also I will get 0, because here we have equal, so this 2 and 3 will be a solution for this inequality. Any question? Or I can write it as x less than or equal to less than or equal 3. Both of the way are correct. Why is it closed? Eric, he said why it's closed here. Because we have, yes, go ahead, Chop.
It's because when you write a parenthesis, that's an open circle. That means you don't include that number. But when you have a bracket like that, that means you include the number itself.
Yes, this is correct. So because here we have the equal also. You see the equal sign? When the equal sign, when you see equal, this is mean we have to include also the zeros point. This is the 0 for this equation, x squared minus 5x plus. So this is I mean, like this is the zeros for the equation. So because we have equal here. If we don't have equal, this would be open, will not be closed, open parentheses. Make sense? Any question? Any other question? Okay, I have another example. So the example, solve the inequality x, open parentheses, 2x plus 6, and close it, greater than or equal 0. How we can solve this inequality? I'm going to use the steps before. This is the step here. And again, this is the step. Let's do copy. Okay, the first step, move all terms to one side. We'll do the first step. How we can move all terms to one side?
It's already 2D1s, or everything is 2D1.
Okay, so number one is done because it's already everything to one side and the other side is 0. Eric, we don't have to extend this things, just we have keep it like this because we're going to factor it in the second step. Second step, factor. How we can factor? It's how we can.
You can do x equals 0. That's one factor.
I think the outside.
No, Ahmed, he said no. I mean, like how we can factor this one.
Oh,
Before. This is to find the zeros. You said about the zeros, but how we can factor before we find the zeros.
x squared.
So it's factored, right? Already, it's factored already.
Yeah, it's kind of
We don't
factor.
have to.
Mhm.
It's already factored. We don't have to extend it. When you multiply the 2x by x, you extend it. We don't have. We need to factor. We don't need to extend it. So here, it's factored already. So this step here is done. Now, how we can find the zeros?
Can you do
This-
2x plus 6 equals 0?
This is equal 0. So 2x plus 6 equals 0. And what else?
X
Or
equals,
x equals 0.
yeah.
And x equals 0, it's solved. So this is the first solution, is done here. And the second solution, we have to get it from here. What we should to do here?
Minus 6 on both sides.
Then what we
2x
get?
equals negative 6.
Then
Divide by 2. You get negative 3.
x equal negative 3. So this is my second solution. X equal negative 3 and x equals 0. This is the two solution. Now number 4, find the sign. So here is done. This one, 0. Have to write correct. Now find the sign. Step number 3. This is step number 2. Number 3. To find the sign, we have to write the real line. We have to draw the real line like this. And in this real line, we have to put the zeros that we find it in the previous step. So the first 0 is minus 3, and the second 0 is 0. So here we have minus 3, this one, and 0. Now, pick any number greater than 0 and plug it inside the equation x times 2x plus 6 to
1.
find the sign. Which one?
1.
1. So I'm going to pick the 1. Number 1. Plug the 1 inside the equation, this one.
8 is greater or equal to 0.
1. No, I mean plug it inside this one here.
Oh,
Yeah,
1,
just 1 times what?
2 times 2 plus 6.
1 plus 6.
Yeah.
What I get?
8.
8. And what is the sign?
Positive.
Positive. So here's positive, 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 positive.
When
Any
you say the
number.
sign, you mean like Like the sign of the 8?
Yes, positive. Here I get the question, why is it x equals 0? Eric, so when I solve equation like this, so the first term is 0 or the second term is 0 by using the zero product formula property. I mean, the zero product property said A times B equals 0. This is include A equals 0 or B equals 0. So here the same thing, my A is X and my B is the parentheses 2x plus 6. Makes sense? So my A is X and my B is 2x plus 6. So A equals 0, X equals 0 is done. And B equals 0, 2x plus 6 equals 0, then we have to solve it to find the X value. Okay, Eric? Now, pick any number between -3 and 0. What number do you need? -2. Okay, let's take it. Here I get from Victoria -2. Plug the -2 inside the inequality, inside the equation. Plug it here. -2 times -2 times -2 plus 6. What I get? What I get?
-4.
Okay, I get here -2 times 2 times -2 is -4 plus 6. And yes, I get here -2 times -4 plus 6 is -2. And this is +4. So the answer is +4. Hold on, I get -2.
-4
Here
plus
is 2. Here positive. Yeah. Here is positive. This is negative. This is correct. So this is here negative. So this is negative here. Okay, now for any number is less than -3, which number would you like to choose? -4, okay. Let's take -4. -4. Plug it inside the equation. -4 times -2 times -4 plus 6. What I get? -4 times 2 times -4 is -8 plus 6
Where we
is
can't
minus. Yes, go ahead.
I'm saying we can't see what you're doing.
Okay. I'm going to do it here. For -4, -4 times 2 times -4 plus 6. And this is equal -4 times here -8 plus 6 is -2. And here I'm going to get +8. What is the sign? What's the sign? What is the sign here? It's positive. is positive. The sign for this one is positive. So here I get positive, 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 positive. This is correct. So now I'm going to solve this inequality. When this inequality is greater than or equal 0, when this will be positive or 0, what is the answer?
Bracket -3, comma 0. Bracket.
This is will be if I choose this solution from -3 to the 0 will be negative, but the question is when this inequality will be greater than 0, will be positive, I mean when this will be positive or 0. Your answer for negative, Ahmed, but the question is for positive and 0 or 0. Zero, no, yeah, 0 is one of the solution, but I need all solution. Eric said the 0, I told him 0 is a solution for this one, but I need all solution.
Is it 0 to positive negative infinity?
Exactly, is 0 to infinity, from the 0 to infinity, and also from -3 to minus infinity. From -3, or I mean from minus infinity to the 3, and from 0 to infinity.
Infinity to negative infinity, to be specific, right?
From negative infinity to infinity will not be the solution for this one. Why? Because we have negative answer if we plug any number between -3 and 0. So it's not a solution from minus infinity to infinity. Okay, the solution will be from minus infinity to number 3. All numbers here positive. See, Eric? And from 0 to infinity, all this answer will be positive. But the answer from -3 to 0, it's negative. This will not be the answer for, this will not be the solution for this inequality. Because the inequality asks when this will be positive, when this inequality will be positive or 0. So it will be positive here. You see the positive? From minus infinity to -3, and from 0 to infinity. -3 and 0 are including inside this inequality, because -3, they give the answer 0, and the question here is we have equal or equal to 0. Also the 0 will be equal to 0. So the answer here, the solution, the last step is step number 4. Number 4, the solution is from minus infinity to number -3, and this is including here the infinity always open, union, this is mean and, from number 1, from 0 to infinity, from 0 to infinity. So the solution is from minus infinity to 3 to this number, and from 0 to infinity. Make sense? Or I can graph it, or I can do it as by the line, like this. Like before I said, draw the line, and this is my real line. At 0, this is 0, and this is -3, and this is 0. So all solution from 0. So look, at 0 is a closed circle, but before it was open. Closed circle because the answer is including, and all numbers like this, and also here all numbers like this. This is the solution in the blue color. And the -3 and the 0 is including. Here I get a question. Can you please explain why you did not include any number between -3 and 0? Okay. What is the sign from between -3 and 0? What is the sign here?
I think I can explain it a little better. You know,
Okay.
any number between I don't know if it makes sense, but any number from -3 to 0, when you plug it into the original equation, doesn't make it a true statement. I think.
This is correct. This is correct. Or I can say, if you plug any number between minus, yes, go ahead.
So maybe, for example,
Yes, sure.
and pick any number from 0 to -3. Let's say -2, right? If you plug it
Yes.
in, if you plug in -2 to the original equation, it will not make it true. Like it will not be greater than or equal to 0. So that's a false statement. So the solution is always whatever makes the solution a true statement. So any number from negative infinity to -3 makes it a true statement. And any number from 0 to positive infinity makes it a true statement. That means any number between those lines will always make it true, except any number from -3 to 0. This will never make it true.
This is nice. Yeah, he answered like your question, or if you need a different way to your, like if you want to answer your question different way, you go back to step number 3. Look, step number 3. Step number 3 help you to solve this question. You see the sign above of the line? We have positive, 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 positive until the number -3. Then we have negative until the number 0. Then the sign changed to the positive. How we find the positive and negative? From here, after we pick any number greater than 0 and we plug it inside the equation, when you hide the 0 here, and then you get the sign, the positive sign or negative sign. The questions say when this inequality will be positive or 0. Will be positive or 0 when the sign is positive. You look back to the number 3, step number 3, you're looking back, where is the sign would be positive? The sign would be positive is from -infinity to -3. You stop here because this number here will be negative. Then you continue from 0 to infinity. This is the sign would be positive. If the question here said when this will be less than or equal 0, less than or equal 0 mean when this inequality would be negative or 0. Will be negative here in this interval from -3 to 0 will be negative from -3 to 0. But the question said when this will be positive inside this interval and this interval from -infinity to the -3 and from 0 to infinity.
So if it was negative, if the question was asking for negative, then we would have only like one solution, right?
Yes, will be only one solution and one interval. The interval is from -3 to 0.
Yeah, I mean one interval. But since it's positive, we have two intervals now.
Yes, exactly. And between the two intervals, we have the union sign. This is the union, means and. This interval and this interval.
That's how you graph. I mean, that's how you plot on the line a union. You draw.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So the -3 is include. This is mean include. We have to close the circle. The 0 is include. We have to close the circle. And all numbers is less than -3 is by the arrow, the blue one. And all numbers is greater than 0 is the arrow, this one. Okay, now we have to go to the last kind of inequality is solving inequality with a quotient. The last one here, solving inequality with quotient. Okay, so in this question here, in this inequality, we're not going to see any like is not a linear, is not quadratic. I mean, it's not linear, it's not non-linear too. I mean, non-linear like a quadratic, like we solved in the previous example. So in this one here, we have quotient. I mean, for quotient like fraction, something like this example. So the example here, solve the inequality solve the inequality. We have 1 plus x over 1 minus x is greater than or equal 1. So we have steps here. Like before, in the second one, we have step here, we have the same thing, another step. The step here, so here number the step. First of all, we have to move all terms to one side. Then we don't have to factor here, we have to find the zeros. Find the zeros. Step number 3, find the sign, and step number 4, we should to solve the inequality. Okay, let's do the step. Solve this inequality by using these steps. Okay. Step number 1, move all terms to one side. How we can move all terms to one side?
Subtract 1.
Subtract 1. Subtract the 1 from both sides. Subtract the 1 here. Subtract the 1. So 1 minus 1 cancel out. So this is 0 here. Now I get 1 plus x over 1 minus x. Here 1 plus x. One plus x over 1 minus x minus 1 plus the minus 1 less than or equal what? It's less than or equal. No, is greater than. Greater than or equal. Equal 0. Now, next step we have to make, because here we have fraction, here we don't have fraction, but actually this is over 1. Actually, this is over 1. How we can solve this thing? We have to make the denominator what? Equal. How we can make the denominator equal here?
You would cross multiply a little bit, maybe?
Yes. We have to cross multiply, or we can multiply the both side here by the denominator of this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's moving something here, give some space. Here is greater than or equal 0. So here the denominator are different. Here we'll have 1 minus x. Here we have 1. So we have three ways to solve something like that. Cross multiply, or the least common denominator, or the easiest way is to make the denominator equal by multiplying the 1 by 1 minus x to make the denominator equal. And here we multiply this by 1 minus x. Now we have fraction. We have fraction here plus fraction is greater than or equal 0. 1 plus x, 1 minus x. 1 minus x. Here we have to distribute the minus inside the parentheses. What we get? Minus times 1 is minus 1 plus x. So the denominator now, both of the fraction, they have the same denominator, 1 minus x, 1 minus x. So now again get one fraction. Here down is 1 minus x. Now here I get 1 plus x minus 1 plus x. So the 1 with the 1, they cancel out. This is equal what? 2x over what? 1 minus x is greater than or equal 0. So again, so the denominator equals, so just we sum the numerator for both fraction, 1 plus x minus 1 plus x, the one and the other one, they cancel out. Here 0, and I get x plus x, I get 2x over 1 minus x. Here I get the question, why is plus negative 1 over 1? So actually I subtract the 1 from both sides. So when I subtract the 1 from both sides, I get 1 plus x over, here I get 1 plus x over 1 minus x, 1 minus x. And when I subtract the 1, I get minus 1 greater than or equal 0. So now instead of I make it minus 1, I make it easier. This is equal 1 plus x over 1 minus x and here instead of minus 1, I make it plus minus 1. Makes sense? And actually this is over 1. Anything is over 1. Because any number is actually is over 1, greater than 0. Makes sense, Eric? Why I put plus negative 1 over 1? The negative here I change it to positive, and the number I put it inside the parentheses. Minus 1 over 1. Then I continue solving this one in the next slide. So in next slide here, I distribute, because the one here, the denominator are both of them not equal. So I multiply both of the denominator by 1 minus x. 1 minus x, 1 minus x. Then I distribute the minus 1 inside the parentheses. Now we have, this is the second step. Let's doing this step, moving all terms to one side, find the zeros. So to find the 0, how we can find the 0? Here we have to find the 0 for 2x, and we have to find the 0 for 1 minus x. So the zeros for 2x are, what is the 0 for 2x?
Is it just 0?
Is 0, exactly, is 2x equals 0. Then we have to solve it by what? What we should to do here?
Divide 2 on both sides.
Divide 2 from both sides. I will get x equals 0. So this is the 0 for the first one, for the numerator, 2x. Now for the denominator, the 0.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
How did you get -1 on the top?
Here, we distribute the minus 1 inside the parentheses. Minus 1, this one, right? You ask about this one or this one? Which one exactly?
Isn't that the same?
Again, let's go back here to this step. So here we subtract the 1 from both sides.
Yeah.
Then I change the negative to positive and put minus 1 inside the parentheses, because this is exactly like this. Instead of negative, I put positive, negative times 1 inside the parentheses.
Oh,
Then we divide it by 1 because any number is actually over 1. 5, the number 5, for example, is 5 over 1. 6 is 6 over 1. 7 is 7 over 1. So this is actually any number is over 1. Now, because the denominator difference from both fraction, I should to make the denominator equal.
yeah.
So the easiest way by multiplying this fraction for both side numerator and denominator by 1 minus x. So this is what I did here. When I multiply both sides by 1 minus x, I get the denominator equal from the first fraction by the first fraction and the second fraction.
Oh, okay. I get it. I get it.
Now we have to multiply the minus 1 inside the blue one, inside the parentheses. Minus 1 plus x. Now we have to combine these two fractions. I get 2x over 1 minus x. Now we have to do the step number 3 or 2, step number 2, find the zeros. To find the 0, I have to find the 0 for numerator and the denominator. So the 0 for 1 minus x is what is it?
It's
It's 1
1.
minus x equals 0. It's 1 exactly. So we have to add x for both sides. I get here 1 equal x. So the 0 is 1. So I get 2 zeros. The first 0 is x equal 0, and the 0 for the denominator is 1. Now, step number 3, find the sign. So to find the sign, I have to draw the line, the real line, like this. This is my real line. And I have to put the zeros in the line. What is the first 0? Is 0. Because it's in the top of the fraction, it's in the numerator. So we have to put it close. So the 0 here will be close circle. And for the second one, x equal 1, because it's in the denominator, should be open. Must be open, because we cannot put a 0 in the denominator. The denominator cannot be 0. So here is 0, and here is 1. Make sense what we did here? Now pick any number is less than 0. Pick any number less than 0.
Wait, I'm sorry, but can you please explain why you did that one shaded and that one open circle?
Okay. So go back. For this one, the 0 for 2x is 2x over 0, and I get x equals 0. This is in the numerator, the top of the fraction.
Mm-hmm.
And the 0 for the denominator is x equal 1. Because I cannot plug here 1, the fraction here, or the fraction will be undefined. So I have to put it open circle. So the zeros in the denominator must be open circle. All zeros for the denominator, x equal 1, must be open, because I cannot plug it inside the fraction. But the 0 for numerator in the top here in 2x should be closed, like this. This, the 0 for the denominator. This, the 0 for the numerator.
Okay.
It should be open. Now pick any number is less than 0.
-1.
-1. Plug it inside the equation. The equation is 2x over 1 minus x. 2x over 1 minus x. Plug the minus 1.
-2 over
Like
1.
-1 here, and -2 over what?
Over 1
minus 1 is 1.
is 2.
1 minus 1 is 2, exactly. So I get minus 2 over 2. I get
Which is
minus
-1.
-1. So the sign here will be negative. The sign is negative. Now pick any number between greater than 1.
2.
2.
So you get 2 times 2, which is 4.
4.
And then 1 minus 2 is -1. So 4 over, so -4.
Minus 1 is -4. So the sign is
Negative.
negative. So the negative here. Pick any number between 0 and 1.
1/2.
1/2. Plug it inside.
2 times 1/2 is 1
1.
over 1 minus
1/2 is 1/2.
1. Yeah, 1/2.
What I get here?
You
is
get
yeah, 1 times what? Flip this one.
1 times 2, which is 2.
2. The sign
It's positive.
is positive. So here I get positive, 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 positive. Now the question is, go back, we have to solve it. When this will be positive or 0? When this the inequality will be positive or 0?
Positive or 1, you mean, right?
I mean positive or 0.
Is it
Solution.
parentheses 0 comma parentheses 1?
Exactly, it's from 0 to 1. All this will be positive from the 0 to 1, but the 0 is include. Why? Because we have equal 0 to 1, and the 1 is not include because the 1 cannot be, we cannot put it in as a solution. Here I get the question, let's say if we have 0 on the numerator, would it also be open? Yeah, any 0 for the numerator, the denominator, I mean, all 0 for the denominator must be open. But for the denominator, for numerator, always close, Eric. Eric, he asked, so any 0 for the numerator should be closed, like this. Any 0 for the denominator must be open. Now the solution, when this will be positive, it's gonna be positive only from 0 to 1. But the question is, when will be positive or 0? You see this is mean or 0. So it will be 0 also at 0. So from 0 to 1, and the 1 is open all the time. So it should be open. Any question?
I have so for example, when you plug in 1, we know that we don't include 1, right?
Yes.
So when you substitute 1 inside the original inequality, the
Okay.
denominator is undefined. Does that automatically tell us that it's not going to be included?
Exactly, will not be included. That's
Okay.
why. So that's why the 1 cannot be plugged here. If I plug the 1 here, this is the original one. This is the original question. Is 2x, 2 times 1 is 2. Over 1 minus 1 is 0. 2 over 1, 2 over 0 is undefined. So I cannot plug the 1 at all in this inequality. So, but if I plug the 0, they would give me a solution. 2 times 0 is 0. Over 1 minus 0 is 1. So it would be like 0 over 1 is 0. But the 1, I cannot plug it because they will give me undefined. So the solution will be from 0, the 0 include, until the 1. And the 1 is not include inside this as a solution for this inequality. Any question? Any question for this one? And if you would like to graph the solution as a line, like we learned the previous, so you have to put the two solution. The first solution is 0, like this. Here is the 0. This is the 0. and for the 1 is open parentheses. I make it in different color. So here is the 0. And this is the 1 open. And we have a line between the 0 and the 1, like this. Here is the line. So again, this is the 0 here. Here is a 0. This is 1. Any question for this example?
Professor, how many questions are in the exam? And how many minutes are?
We're going to talk about this later, not today, when the exam will be closed. Okay. Any question for this class? Okay, we're going to stop until here today, and I will see you Thursday, I think. Oh, yeah, Thursday. Have a good day. Have a good day, everyone.